Turn-based strategy and tactics games are coming in hot this year, with already some stellar titles out. There's just one problem: which one should you be playing or at least keeping an eye on this year? Well, my name is Marco, and today I'll be giving you the best turn-based strategies, the turn-based tactics, CRPGs, and just any game that you can take your sweet time on to unleash the ultimate destruction on your enemies. Starting the list off with Sanguis, a game that some of you might recognize. The studio was kind enough to sponsor this video, and if the visuals seem familiar, that's because yes, it's the same team behind Otherside, a similar turn-based game I've covered before, which is an absolute hidden gem that you need to go check out. This time around you get to control various elite warriors called the Stili, born from the Sanguis of the Martyr, where you need to lead them in a battle to save a dying world. The demo only gives you a few characters to try out, but there's more in the full game, where it's giving me K-pop demon hunter gone goth vibes, but they're not linked to the story and can die if you're not careful. The game relies heavily on time, and looking up I can see here this timeline of events that you get to manipulate what happens next. Sure, other turn-based games have this, but this game goes hard into time manipulation. Some attacks are instant, while others are sped up, delayed, or even swapped around in order to impact that turn order. I also really enjoy the look of the game. It feels very unique, and so too are the various enemies you face and attacks that you'll be using on them. After the battle, you'll get to upgrade your warriors with new abilities, as well as move around this landscape that looks like the day after Black Friday, choosing your own path as well as the difficulty that suits you. So if this looks up your alley and you want to support me, check out the link in the description today. Then next up, have you ever wanted to command a squad of misfits in a galaxy far, far away? Well, this might be the closest we'll ever get to a proper Star Wars XCOM. And yes, I'm not talking about those mods that we've tried a bunch of times. I may have mentioned Star Wars Zero Company once or twice before, but I'm just so excited to play this game. This gritty turn-based tactics title is going more for an Andor feel rather than Jedi rocking everywhere, where you'll be playing as Hawks, a former Republic officer leading an unconventional mercenary unit during the chaotic twilight of the Clone Wars. Side note, the game is being developed by Bit Reactor, who is made up of some of the veterans from XCOM. So yeah, you can say I'm a little bit excited about this one just based on that. Between missions, you'll return to your base of operations, aka the Den, where you'll get to upgrade your gear, recruit new specialists, and then plan your next move. Combat is set to be deep, emphasizing cover, elevation, and squad synergies that will be unlocking as your team forms tighter bonds. Something I can't wait for is that every character will be customizable, and the game will also include some hardcore options like permadeath if you really want to turn up that difficulty. It's set to launch sometime this year, and it has to be on your radar if you're a fan of Star Wars or just love that tactical gameplay of XCOM but want it in that Star Wars universe. Now, if rolling for initiative gets you all excited and you love games like Baldur's Gate, then this sequel might interest you. Solasta II is the follow-up to the hit tactical RPG that became famous for having the most faithful implementation of the D&D 5.1 rules ever seen in a video game. This time around though, the developers are moving to a much more ambitious open world structure, letting you explore a vast interconnected world rather than just following a linear path. In the game, you'll spend your time creating a full party of 4 heroes from scratch, customizing their personalities, backgrounds, and even how they bicker with each other during those cutscenes. Naturally, the tactical combat will be the main emphasis of the game here, and I played the demo last year, and just the visuals and animations and all of it together were top tier. Plus, you can look forward to an expanded dungeon maker tool that'll let you build your very own massive campaigns to share with the community. It is set to release sometime in March, so not much longer to go. So yeah, this is a complete no-brainer if you're a fan of games like Baldur's Gate 3, or you just want a pure hardcore tactical D&D experience. Next up, have you ever wondered what would happen if BioShock and Disco Elysium had a baby that loved fast cars and 1930s detective noir? Well, Aether Iron is a deco-punk narrative RPG set in an alternate history New York City that's pretty much been ripped apart from the ground and just floating in the sky. You play as Gia, a witty smuggler trying to survive a vertical city filled with anti-gravity technology, corrupt barons, and massive conspiracies. The world looks like it's coming with some great atmosphere, and I don't mean CO2, pulling heavy inspiration from Art Deco style and the classic 1930s detective comics. A huge part of the game is all about your choices, where you'll get to use your hustle, smarts, and brass to navigate tricky conversations and difficult alliances. But when things get messy, you'll jump into tactical turn-based vehicular combat, where you can then customize your Aether-powered ride with things like flamethrowers and smoke dispensers. But you're not alone out there either, as you'll need to recruit a crew of unique companions that, yes, listening to the gameplay trailer, and it's got these voice acting, it really caught my ear. It's pretty cool. And even though it feels like a high-stakes thriller, I think a lot of the outcomes will come down to a single dice roll, which some of you might like or dislike, but it is pretty cool. The game is coming out sometime in March, so if you're into story-rich gameplay and love a good retro-futuristic vibe, maybe go check out Aether Iron today. And now, I never thought the look and feel of Battle Brothers would, ever catch on, but hey, here we are. Scum is a gritty turn-based tactical roguelike where you play as a space scavenger hunting for loot in all the wrong places, no fly girls, just ugly faces. You'll board derelict, procedurally generated ships filled with malfunctioning bots and mutated horrors. The gameplay loop is a brutal balance between your greed for technology and your depleting oxygen. The combat seems tight, ammo looks scarce, and the environment is lethal. For example, a stray bullet can puncture the hull and just yeet your squad into the void. You'll need to recruit a crew of weirdos, from cyborg outlaws to telepathic mutants, each with their own unique Scum abilities. Then between your runs, you can duct tape your ship together and trade on the black market. It's set for release sometime this year, where Scum seems to be the perfect choice for someone who is a big fan of Battle Brothers, except now you're in space trying to save the galaxy. Now, some of you might remember this game called Shardpunk. It was a lot of fun. It was this post-apocalyptic, kind of like Fallout, but with a lot of rats. And hey, guess what? They're making a sequel called Shardpunk 2. The original was great, so go check it out if you haven't already. Like their previous title, you're going to be leading a group of survivors through the ruins of a steampunk city, trying to outrun a literal tidal wave of mutated vermin. If it's anything like the first game, it's going to be hectic. Like, every encounter is just a race against time. It's going to come with this ultra deadly turn-based combat where one wrong move means losing a character forever in the rat swarm. And then in between battles, you'll also need to keep your gear functioning and your squad fed. So like I said, pretty hectic. The sequel also claims to have a much deeper character system. You'll be able to bond your survivors together to unlock powerful synergy capabilities during a fight. It's got the same gritty pixelated graphics as the original, with a few upgrades here and there. It's set to release sometime in late 2026, so if you like this graphic style and you enjoyed the original, or maybe you're just looking for some high-stakes turn-based RPG action, then maybe go check out Shardpunk 2 today. Next up is my Hooded Horse section, because these publishers love their strategy and tactics games, and I'm just going to be grouping them all together. The first one looks very interesting, and it's called The Way of Wrath, where it was announced a few years back, but hopefully 2026 is going to be seeing the light of day for this game. Imagine a gritty open-world RPG where you've just survived a massive defeat and now have to make the final stand in an ancient mountain fort. The game is all about the Way of Wrath, a prehistoric world filled with shamans everywhere and just everything wanting to kill you in a way that's very wrathful. You only have 10 days to prepare for a massive siege, which is funny because normally it just takes me a few hours after eating McDonald's. In the game, you'll be doing survival basics like hunting for food, gathering supplies, but then also building up your fort's defenses before things get messy. The combat also looks super tactical and turn-based, meaning that you have to plan through every move to keep your warriors alive. You also have to play diplomat every now and then to settle these petty blood feuds and keeping your tribal allies from cutting each other's throats out. So yes, I know the game has been delayed in the past, but now with Hooded Horse helping them, maybe 2026 is going to be their year. So yeah, maybe go check out The Way of Wrath if you're into survival-based open-world RPGs and you want some with some turn-based action. Then up next is a game where you'll be cruising along dusty roads as the life of a mercenary leader. Pathbreakers Roaming Blades is a wide-open tactical RPG that feels similar to games like Battle Brothers and War Tales. Oh yeah, I'm going there. The game is set on the Storm-Tossed Isle, a massive procedurally generated land where you'll lead a ragtag company of mercenaries looking for fame and a mostly fortune. You start by picking a unique origin story for your leader, which then sets the vibe for your entire run and gives you a specific goal that you'll need to chase. In the game, you're basically the boss of these fighters, meaning you'll need to manage salaries, buy them food, and keep them well equipped so that they don't desert you and look for a work from home 4-day workweek situation. When it comes to making money, you'll take on bloody combat contracts, become a wealthy merchant trader, or just go big and explore trap-filled dungeons for ancient loot. Combat happens on a tactical hex grid where positioning is everything, and you can bring up to 8 of your custom warriors to fight with you at once. There's a deep class system with 8 base roles, which can then branch into advanced specializations, so you can really fine-tune how you want to play. The game is set to release sometime this year, so maybe go check out Pathbreakers Roaming Blades if you enjoy those gritty sandbox strategy games and enjoy this kind of art style. Next on the list comes a game with similar pixelated graphics, but the sequel is more like a Heroes of Might and Magic successor. Heroes Hour 2 is a massive sequel to the original indie hit that blends deep, turn-based empire building with chaotic real-time auto-battler combat. Honestly, many people don't know about the original, which proved you don't need AAA graphics for AAA fun, because that one is a lot of fun. The game is all about picking a crazy, cool, wild fantasy faction. There's a huge bunch to choose from, like armies of the dead, forest spirits, even beings of pure evil, and then trying to conquer procedurally generated maps. You'll be exploring the land, going through this fog of war, capturing these resource mines, and then upgrading your home city to recruit bigger and badder units. As the name suggests, your heroes are the stars of the show. They will lead your armies, and you get to level them up using these unique skill trees. When you bump into an enemy, the game then switches to that real-time battle with hundreds of tiny pixelated soldiers all clashing at once. It's utter chaos. But you won't just be their cheerleader, you'll get to throw down some epic spells to help them out. The sequel is going to be much bigger, offer more factions, deeper synergies, and it's finally adding the requested online PvP and co-op modes. Set for release sometime this year, Heroes Hour 2 is worth checking out if you love strategy classics like Heroes of Might and Magic, with some twists to keep it interesting. Now I have to say this game might be my most anticipated title coming out this year, and yes, I've covered it before, but damn, it just ticks so many boxes for me. Mars Tactics is a brutal turn-based tactical RPG set in a massive civil war between labor unions and the corporate overlords on Mars. You'll get to choose a side, leading either the scrappy, resource-poor labor insurgents or the high-tech, well-funded capital mercenaries. The game will feature permadeath, which is pretty cool, and hopefully some smart AI. I don't mean ChatGPT, I mean just the difficulty-wise. It's set to release sometime in May this year, and it definitely needs to be on your wish list if you love XCOM or you just want a sci-fi challenge that doesn't pull any punches. Okay, so again, I've featured this game a few times now, but come on, who isn't excited for it? Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era is set to be a massive return to the roots of the legendary series, acting as a prequel set on the mysterious continent of Jadam. Fans of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 will be in for a treat here, as it's going to feature the classic mix of deep town management, exploration, and epic hex-based tactical combat. In the game, you'll be leading powerful heroes across a vibrant adventure map, capturing resource mines and building up legendary castles to recruit mythic creatures. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't played any of the previous titles, but I absolutely loved the demo. The turn-based battles are way too cool, and you can just create such a strong team that just obliterates everything. Plus, the game is coming with 6 unique factions that all look very interesting, and it's also going to come with a full map editor and random map generator, so the game is basically infinitely replayable. It is following a short delay to polish things up, but it is now officially set to launch in early access sometime this year. But devs, honestly, no rush, take your time, and for people wanting an epic turn-based title, do not miss out on Olden Era. Definitely add it to your wishlist today if you haven't already. Well, that's enough of Hooded Horse, but now does anyone remember the game called Front Mission? Or maybe you just love turn-based mech action? Well, you want to keep your eye out on this one. Kriegsfront Tactics is a procedurally turn-based tactical RPG where you command a squad of Kriegsfront mechs during a brutal conflict in Southeast Asia. As always, you'll be playing as a commander leading a mercenary group, but this time you'll be in a thick rain-soaked jungle filled with enemy bases and rival pilots. Now, some of you might not be a fan of the low poly aesthetic, but I don't know, it's starting to grow on me. Looking at that combat, it seems to be all about managing your heat and destroying specific enemy parts, like for example blowing off a mech's arm to disable its main gun or taking out its legs to trap it in the mud. Plus you might also spend a large amount of time in the mecha garage, swapping out limbs, weapons, and even electronic components to fine-tune your squad's performance. Then between missions, you'll also have to manage your pilot's stress levels and scavenge for parts in this gritty world. It's set to release sometime this year, so if you are a fan of turn-based mech games like Battletech and Phantom Brigade, then maybe check out Kriegsfront Tactics. It might just be a lot of fun. Is it me, or is turn-based games, they go hand in hand with just depressing environments, and this one is no different, except it's got a bit less pixels. Neath is the brand new project from Celador Games, the studio behind Rogue Legacy, but this time around they're bringing us a dark, eldritch, roguelike tactical RPG. The story looks super spooky. You're gonna be leading a band of fragile warriors up an irradiated, inverted tower that hangs over a dying world. So pleasant. It's ruled by a god who drops taboos, which are these ever-changing laws of reality that completely warp how each run plays out. The game is a cool spin on turn-based strategy where you'll actually get to manipulate the turn order for both your friends and your enemies. Then you'll get some time to explore this tower in a classic 90s dungeon crawler style, making some tough choices and trying to survive some utterly grotesque monsters. Then between runs, you'll get to manage the town of Shale, where you'll get to manage your serfs and rebuild the settlement to unlock better skills and relics. It's set for release sometime this year, where Neath is a perfect pick if you're a fan of, say, games like Into the Breach or Darkest Dungeon, and just want a strategy game that feels a bit fresher and just a lot more atmospheric. Okay, so this one came out of nowhere, but anything to do with World War II action just has my interest immediately. Bolt Action is the official digital version of Warlord Games' massive miniature wargame. And I'm so used to World War II games being either 4X or RTS, so having some tactical squad level combat is a refreshing change. You'll get to play as a commander leading American, British or German forces through the hedges of Normandy and beyond. I'm still waiting to see more gameplay though, but from the look of things so far, it's got the standard turn-based features as well as some extra bits to make it a little bit more interesting. For example, it comes with this army painter mode where you get to customize the paint jobs and the gear of your digital minis, which, I mean, that's quite unique. It's said to feature a dynamic single-player campaign with connected missions, but you'll also be able to hop online for ranked competitive matches against other generals, so maybe check me out there. It's set for release sometime this year, so if you are a history buff, tabletop veteran, or just love the tactical depth of, say, Company of Heroes but wanted it to be all turn-based, well then Bolt Action needs to be on your radar. Now what about some good old Warhammer love? Warhammer 40k Mechanicus II is the massive sequel to the cult classic tactical hit that gives me an XCOM in space feeling all the time. In the game, you'll not only get to play as the Adeptus Mechanicus, but now also the Necron in 2 full separate campaigns. The story follows a brutal planetary conflict as both factions fight for control of ancient technology that could help reshape the entire galaxy. The combat is looking so cool, coming with some epic turn-based action that made the original so much fun to play. Plus, now it comes with a fully destructible environment, which, yeah, that's my favorite type of environment. Then you'll get your time to manage your troops and resources on this new strategic map, capturing and defending territories to fuel your war machine. The game is set to launch in spring this year, so if you love the heavy atmosphere, the incredible soundtracks, and just tactical games like Chaos Gate or the original Mechanicus, well then Mechanicus II will definitely need to be on your wishlist. Sticking to the Warhammer setting, but going for more of a CRPG vibe, next up is Dark Heresy. In the game, you're a nobody. You're an acolyte serving an inquisitor, working as a secret operative in the shadows of the Imperium. The game is set in the rotting Calixus sector. You'll spend your time acting as a gritty detective, investigating cults and uncovering conspiracies that threaten to tear the sector apart from the inside. The story is going to revolve around the Tyrant Star, a mysterious celestial horror that drives entire planets into madness. Plus, your choices will be defining your morality. You can be a strict Puritan following imperial law, or radical who just uses the enemy's own dark weapons against them. No official release date yet, but this is a must-play for fans of the Warhammer CRPG titles like Rogue Trader, and yes, definitely needs to be on your wish list today. And now for my daring few viewers who have made it this far, I'll be sharing with you some games that have come out already that are a lot of fun to play. First up is NORSE Oath of Blood in this isometric turn-based tactical game following Gunnar in this 20+ hour revenge quest after his father has been double-crossed. The gameplay is split between high-stakes battles and deep settlement management, where you get to transform a tiny camp into a thriving stronghold. The combat is fluid, it's challenging, like it's very hard, this game. You've got to use your action points effectively, and it's also got this momentum mechanic which grants you increased critical hit points if you do a lot of kills. There's not a lot of cover going on, so you need to position yourself very well, but you can pull off some badass moves like throwing these axes into people and they just get knocked into the fire. It is amazing. Then between the action, you'll be building up a blacksmith, a seamstress, and a sauna to upgrade your people. They come with these unique classes like the Berserker or the Bogmather. The game just came out, so it's a perfect pick if you love the Viking lore but you want it to be set in XCOM. Post-edit Marco here just to jump in and say that I've seen the reviews on Steam. They're not looking good. Many people are complaining about the performance, so you might want to wait a bit until they iron that out. Now for all my cat people out there, next up is this cat breeding game that, yes, is a turn-based game that it just gets weirder from there. Mewgenics is the latest masterpiece from Edmund Macmillan, the person behind The Binding of Isaac. This is a feline-flavored turn-based roguelike RPG set on this 10x10 grid. In the game, you'll obsessively breed cats to create the ultimate mutant warriors, managing complex traits to pump out the best kittens. I played this during a live stream, and from the get-go, I was like, what is happening in this game? It's so bizarre. But also, I can totally see it being so much fun. Like, I had a great time with it. The combat is so deep, it's tactical, there's so much going on, like, you really have to know what you're doing. And I think the visual style, if you like The Binding of Isaac, then you're gonna love this. The permadeath is always looming around the corner. If a cat is downed or eaten, well, they're gone for good. But you can just breed their successors. It's very trippy. The game came out in February, it's got like 90% on Steam reviews, and it's a must play if you love turn-based combat and want something that's just so out of the ordinary. Alright, so I know most of these games are pretty dark and gloomy, so I thought I'd just throw in something a bit more light-hearted. Dobbel Dungeon is a clever turn-based roguelike that turns the classic tabletop dice rolling into this high-stakes dungeon crawler that just looks so charming. Like, honestly, that claymation visuals just, it really drew me in, and they've done such a great job with it. You've got a handful of these D&D style adventurers like the Paladin or Druid, and you basically can start off with a few and add on more as you go. Your goal is to put an end to this powerful curse, and you'll be exploring this land and upgrading your characters as you go. Overall, it doesn't really feel like a roguelike though, and it just feels like more like a standard turn-based RPG that throws in some dice rolling elements to help spice it up. So yeah, you'll be rolling down those dice, using them in various ways, and the more you progress, the more you can upgrade your character's abilities to do some crazy wild damage and moves. On death, your characters will turn into ghosts that come with their own unique abilities, and they can eventually be brought back, which I think is quite a cool mechanic if you ask me. Sitting with very good reviews on Steam right now, so if you want a charming roguelike turn-based game that feels a bit like Dicey Dungeons with those dice mechanics, then maybe check out Dobbel Dungeon today. And then finally, I guess one of the best turn-based games that have come out this year, it's MENACE. This highly anticipated sci-fi tactical RPG from the creators of Battle Brothers brought us this game that it just delivered on all fronts. It's not 100%, but many people are seeming to love it. It's got thousands of players per day where they are just drawn towards this deep turn-based squad combat where every bullet and technical decision feels like it matters. Like, the game is brutally hard. I often got put off because I just had no idea what I was doing and just got absolutely obliterated. There's so much strategy, like you have to manage your mobile base, coordinate planetary operations, and just navigate the relationships with local factions. I love choosing the different characters and upgrading them. They each come with their own unique traits, and every little detail, like how the weapons, they have their fall damage, and it makes so much difference. And just knowing what to do at any given moment can completely change the gameplay. It's highly recommended for fans of XCOM, but it's not the same game. They're very different titles, and this is more of a merc sim that punishes you for all of your mistakes, but damn, it is so much fun to play. Well, that wraps up my video. What did you think? Did I leave out any games? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I always enjoy hearing back from you, and a big thanks to my channel members. You guys are really helping me out, and I really appreciate all the support that you have given me. But other than that, it's Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, and as always, don't stop gaming.